Welcome, everybody. Thank you very much for coming this evening. You may have been expecting Vidyamala. My name is Karen Hall, and I'm one of the senior trainers for Breathworks. So it's my pleasure to step in and offer this guided practice on this cold, dark Tuesday evening. So just as a little bit of a preamble, it's so important to set yourself up for your practice in your posture to be comfortable. I'm sitting in a comfortable chair that has armrests and it has a good backrest. But even despite that, I have discovered the addition of a little cushion in the small of my back. My God, what a difference it makes. So if there's anything that you need to be comfortable, or if at any point you find you're uncomfortable in the position you've chosen, remember, you have permission to move. You can lie down, you can stand up, you can turn onto your side if you're already lying down, or you can just switch off if you find that this is not a practice that you're able to stay with. We have plenty of choice here. And you may hear the sound of other people joining the meditation. That's okay, just let that noise of people arriving be an indication to you that you're part of a huge, accepting, friendly community, all sharing this practice of mindfulness together. So as we begin, it's entirely up to you if you have your eyes open or closed, if you leave your screen on or off. You choose whatever works for you. If you're wearing glasses, as I said earlier, I'd encourage you to take your glasses off. And just as you're settling down and arriving, I'm going to read you a little blessing from this fantastic book. I wonder, can you see it? There's a bit of a glare on that. I can't see it on my screen. It says Anam Cara, Spiritual Wisdom from the Celtic World by John O'Donoghue. He's fantastic. So just before we begin, I'll read you his blessing. On the day when the weight deadens on your shoulders and you stumble, may the clay dance to balance you. And when your eyes freeze behind the grey window and the ghost of loss gets into you, may a flock of colours, indigo, red, green, and azure blue, come to awaken in you a meadow of delight. When the canvas frays in the currach of thought and a stain of ocean blackens beneath you, may there come across the waters a path of yellow moonlight to bring you safely home. May the nourishment of the earth be yours. May the clarity of light be yours. May the fluency of the ocean be yours. May the protection of the ancestors be yours. And so may a slow wind work these words of love around you, an invisible cloak to mind your life. May a slow wind work these words of love around you, an invisible cloak to mind your life. So if you're ready to begin, just gently closing your eyes, or if you'd rather rest your gaze somewhere just in front of you. Allow yourself to come into land in this moment. You may have had a long, busy day. You may have been in a bit of a rush to get here on time, a bit of difficulty connecting with the Zoom link. But you're here now, you've arrived. Welcome, welcome. Just give yourself time to arrive in the moment, to let your mind catch up with your body. A good way to do that sometimes is to just allow your breath to leave you in a sigh as often as you like. Notice the connection points of your body with the chair or the sofa, the mattress or the floor. With each breath out, see if you can let go of effort a little bit more and a little bit more. If your hands are clasped, maybe let go of your hands and let them rest on your lap or on your belly, wherever is comfortable. If you find that you're sitting with your knees pressed close together or your legs close together, or if you're lying with your legs close together, notice what happens when you let your feet and your legs be at least hip width apart. How the muscles just suddenly relax. If that's comfortable. If that's not comfortable, you're the expert in your body. You find a comfortable way of letting go of effort in your feet and your toes, in your legs and your arms, and your fingers. You can check in with your jaw. Are your jaws clenched together? Is your tongue pressed up against the roof of your mouth? You can just waggle your jaw a little bit, your lower jaw. Let your jaws be apart. You can let your tongue rest on the floor of your mouth, or you can let the tip of your tongue just touch the back of your upper front teeth. That kind of unlocks the face, cheek, the lips, the neck. And notice where your shoulders are. A good way to do that sometimes is to just press your hands into your groin and raise your shoulders up towards your ears. If that's comfortable, just hold there for a second and then let go. You might want to move your bum right into the back of the chair, adjust that cushion behind your lower back, and let the chair hold you. You can let your feet be flat on the floor. Have your palms facing upwards. We're just setting up the optimal posture for this practice. If we take care of these little things at the beginning, we won't be bothered or distracted by them or made uncomfortable by them later on. And remember, if at any point you become uncomfortable, you can move. And if you find at any point that your spine begins to slouch and the top of your torso starts crushing down on your belly, that's a little moment of mindfulness of your posture. So you can just lengthen your spine. And notice how much easier it is to breathe in and out when your spine is long. Notice if you're sucking in your gut at all. You're at home. You can loosen your waistband. It's like you would after a big dinner. Notice how much more comfortable that is. Notice what sounds there are around you. You might be able to hear the hum of the motor of your computer or laptop. Might be somebody sitting next to you. You might be able to hear them breathing or moving or their tummy rumbling. Maybe there's a sound in another room in the building. Or the sound of traffic in the distance on the roads or up above you in the sky. Might be some sounds that you have a little feeling of aversion to, irritation with. Just notice that. You can even smile at that. Here's my good old likes and dislikes showing up. Don't like that sound. Wish that sound wasn't there. That's very annoying. Those little thoughts pinging into your mind. And when we notice those are little moments of mindfulness. And they'll pop up throughout this practice, no doubt. How will you choose to respond to anything that pops up into your awareness? Might notice some other things, some smells or tastes or sensations through the skin of heat or cold or a draft touching the exposed skin of the hands or the face or the neck. You might smell a candle or coffee or taste the aftertaste of food or something you've had to drink. And you might notice some emotions are present. You might be feeling quite relaxed, glad to be here. You might be feeling quite full or replete after a nice meal. You might be hungry if you've just gotten in from work. You might be irritable from that hunger or that thirst. You might have had a stressful day. You might have an unpleasant symptom, a headache or back pain or some other deep fatigue that you wish wasn't here. Someone you love and care for may be very sick, unwell, at home or in hospital. And that little worry might be niggling at you at the edges of your attention or front and center. So just acknowledging that feeling, that mood, that tone, the domino effect of thoughts and sensations. Anything that you notice in that moment of noticing is a moment of mindfulness, which maybe requires a little additional compassion or kindness. Breathe into that. Put your hand on your heart if you find that comforting or helpful. Wrap your other hand across your belly. Maybe this has been a difficult day week, month, year, few years, decade. Right there with you. Breathe that into your awareness and breathe out kindness towards yourself. Liberally apply kindness, patience, tolerance. Wish yourself well. May I be well. May I have peace. May I be safe. May I be happy. Put that like a loop throughout the rest of this little practice. And notice your breath. Whatever stage it is in this respiratory cycle, the middle of the in-breath, the out-breath, the gap between one breath and the next. Begin to follow your breath. Follow its journey in and out of your body, in and out of your lungs. You might be breathing in through your mouth or through your nose, one nostril or both, depending on how you're feeling today. Notice if that air is cool or warm, dry or moist. If you're breathing in through your nose, maybe noticing if you can feel your nostrils flare slightly on the in-breath. Maybe not noticing so much movement in the nostrils on the out-breath. Maybe you can feel the air rushing up into your nostrils on either side of that septum, that wall between the two nostrils. Maybe you can even feel the hairs of your nose moving with the breath, the air in one way and out the other way. As your attention rests around your nose, the front of your face, you might notice if the tip of your nose feels warm or cold, or there's slight tingling around there. And if not, that's okay. Just noticing whatever it is that you can feel. You might want to do that Tabitha movement. When you breathe out, noticing if you feel that rush of air coming past that space, the skin under your nose, just above your lip. And if you're breathing through your mouth, You may notice air passing across your lips, along the top of your tongue to the back of your throat. Curving around that corner and going down the neck. You might notice yourself swallow every so often. See if you can keep your attention there in your neck. If you notice any movements of air flowing down the airways on the way in or back up on the way out. And if at any point you don't want to stay with your breath, then by all means take your attention to some other sense, your sense of hearing, the weight of your body sitting on the chair, or the coolness of your hands. You can just stay with those sensations. But if you're happy to stay with your breath, see if you can notice the breath causing the upper part of the torso to move, the chest. You might notice movement on the outside, the rise and fall of the chest under the clothing. You might notice the movement of the body within the clothes as the body moves with the breath. You might notice some movement in your shoulders or across your collarbones or the breastbone. Those ribs, those pairs of ribs going across out to the sides of the body, curving around across the back into the spine. That 360-degree awareness of the breath, moving the rib cage, the lungs inflating and deflating with the in and the out breath. You might notice your body rocking with the breath or moving with the pulse of your heartbeat. That other echo of the breath, that air we breathe into the lungs, is carried to the heart. And that oxygen that we breathe in is carried off by the blood, pumped by the heart all over the body. You might feel that throbbing or pulsing in your spine, through your torso, down your legs, all the way into your feet. And that breath that we breathe out, that's all the waste of the breath, the carbon dioxide, the water being exhaled. So maybe notice if you can feel that the air you exhale is warmer. It's been the whole way through the body, through the lungs, picked up water, so it might be a little bit moist as you breathe out. See if you can find the end of your out breath. You breathe in, you breathe out. At some point, you stop breathing out. And then there's a little gap before you start breathing in. So see if you can keep finding the end of each out breath. If you notice your attention is being snagged by some pain somewhere or drifting off somewhere else, carried away by some train of thought, that's okay. That's normal. Anytime you notice that, invite your attention back to your breath or to sounds or to sensations in the body, whatever works for you. And just start again as often as you need to. And if at any point you feel overwhelmed by emotions, difficult thoughts, breathe in the loving kindness being shared by this group. Breathe in the connection with these other human beings who all share this human condition. As we begin to bring this practice gently to a close, just allow yourself a moment of self-appreciation for providing yourself with this nourishment, this practice, this connection with your community. All breathing in and out together, all sending out ripples of kindness out into the world to each other. Remember that simple practice. Connecting with the moment, with the breath, or with some sense. Occasionally, perhaps remind yourself of the serenity prayer. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So thanks everybody very much for tuning in, for linking, for being part of this community. Take this space, this quiet, this self-kindness into your evening, into the rest of the week, to other people, that knowledge of the shared human condition, and keep being kind to yourself. Good night. You are free to go about the rest of your evening. Take care. Bye.